Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for once you're not seeing my face. This is my friend Brittany. It is her birthday and she asked if I could do her makeup for a photo shoot that she's having, and I said, do you mind if I record you? And she said no, so here we are. I'm gonna start off with doing her brows. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Freeze product and applying it with a disposable spoolie, and I'm pretty much, remember that a little bit goes a long way, I'm just feathering in the product into her brows. And I've actually done her makeup, I think this is going to be like our third or fourth time that I've done it, so I'm really familiar with her face. So I'm not applying any brow product at the moment. I'm going to wait till the end. I'm going in with a primer. This is the Urban Decay Eden Primer, and I'm carving up the brow and applying it all over the lid. You guys can also use concealer if you are interested, but I like this primer, especially since she's going to be doing a photo shoot. I want to make sure her eyeshadows last all day. Next, I cut in half these e.l.f. eye tapes, which you can find at like Target or Walmart, I believe. It really helps to give us a nice clean look. I'm using a Morphe M433 and picking up the Supreme Nudes palette by Artist Couture. I'm taking the shade called Stripped from the palette, applying it towards the outer corner. Now for the eyeshadow today, we're mainly going to focus it towards the outer corner, but with whatever we have left of that product, we're going to start to apply it in the crease and then a little bit going towards the inner corner. I really like to apply it just a little bit towards the the inner corner, because that's where we're going to apply bronzer. And remember that I always just like to do this because it really allows to, once we go into contouring the nose, it all just blends in really nice and smooth. But for the most part, I do apply it mostly towards the outer corner, since that is where I mostly want the darkness to be at. Next, I'm switching over to this Morphe M506 brush, and I'm picking up the shade called Aesthetic from the same palette, and I'm just going to start to darken up the outer corner and create, like if we're creating a smoked out wing liner. I really want to build up the intensity there because we are going to go in with a darker brown. I want to layer down my other browns first before we start to warm it up and make it a little bit dark. I'm going back to the Morphe M433 with absolutely no product, which is the same one that we used in the crease. I'm going to go ahead and just run it right on top of the shade called Aesthetic, just to make sure that everything looks nice and smooth and blended. And then I will take a little bit of that shade Aesthetic and start to blend out that outer corner as well. The reason why I switched is because the Morphe M433 is really going to give us that nice, soft, blended look. The Morphe M506, it's really great, for like more precise looks, and it will allow the eyeshadow to stay where you're placing it. And then the Morphe M433 will just allow to really make it look nice and smooth. Going back to that Morphe M506, and I'm picking up a little bit more of Aesthetic and a little bit of the shade called Mink, which is a dark brown shade from that same palette. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the brow bone, switching my brush. I believe this is the Morphe M441, picking up a little bit of the shade called Exposed, and just apply this on the brow bone. We're going to keep it pretty on the matte side. Next, just so that way we don't lose any of the colors that we place, I'm going back into that shade called Nudist and a little bit of Stripped, and hitting that in the crease. And then of course just touching up a little bit with Aesthetic once again. Next, I'm taking this eyeshadow from Makeup by Mario. I forgot what it's called, but I will link it down below for you guys. And this will be our main lid shade. The picture that she showed me that she wanted, like, where she was really inspired by, had more of like a glittery lid, but I didn't want it to be super harsh, and this color, you guys, is absolutely beautiful. I'm obsessed with this eyeshadow from Makeup by Mario. It definitely makes the eye look really wet. I did apply a little bit of setting spray on my brush, but look how stunning this is. If you definitely want a nice bronzy look, this is definitely the shade to apply all over your lid. And then next, you guys, I'm just taking this pencil brush. I am applying a little bit of T-Spill from Morphe. It's that brown eyeliner, applying it towards the outer corner, and then I'm also blending it out with that same pencil brush. but also picking up a little bit of the shade called Mink, that dark brown shade from the Artist Couture palette, and really blend that liquid liner out. And this will just make the outer corner look nice and sharp. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just remove, and look how clean that looks. You definitely don't have to do this, but I just love how, you know, it looks nice and sharp. Next, I'm going into my T-Spill liner from Morphe, and I'm just creating like a cat eye. So just pretty much extending out the liner from the inner corner, and it really thin, run it on the top lash line to give it that nice fox eye. And then taking my MAC 266, going into the shade called Mink, just to set that liner so that way it stays put and it doesn't go anywhere and it turns it more matte. Next, I applied a little bit of that liner on the back of my hand to warm up the product. Yes, my hands are clean. I would never touch someone's face with my hands being dirty. I also always apply sanitizer. So I'm just running that liquid liner towards the outer corner, connecting it towards the top liner, and then smudging it out with that same Mink brown shade, and just make sure that everything looks nice and soft. Next, just taking a Neutrogena makeup wipe and just cleaning out any fallout that we have, and really perfecting that wing towards that outer corner, making it look nice and sharp. Now it's time for skin. For primer, I'm going to go into the Dominique Cosmetics, their Ultra Hydrating Complexion Primer. Brittany does have more dry skin, so I love to use this primer on her. For foundation, I'm going into the NARS, I believe it's the Natural Longwear Radiant Foundation in the shade Fiji. Yes, it is one shade darker than her natural skin tone, but that's okay because once we go in with concealer, it's all going to even out. And I personally love to use one shade darker of a foundation because you don't want everything to be super light and then it just looks really, really pale. So for concealers today, I'm going to go into the NARS Shape Tape and the shade Fair Neutral, and then the Makeup Forever HD shade in number 22, because one concealer, you guys, is more heavier and then one is more hydrating. So I love to go into both of these. They both have really great coverage, but it's not so heavy or cakey. One thing that the feedback that I would always get from clients was that it feels like they have no makeup on whenever I would do their makeup, which is a great compliment because that's definitely what I want for them. And then for cream contour, you guys, I'm going into the concealer from, I believe it's from Fenty Beauty, but I love this shade because she is more on the fair side, and it's not too red or too orange. I feel like this concealer is perfect. Like I said, I have worked with her before and we've gone to nationals before in Florida. She was in a pageant, and so this is like the same steps that we did on that day, and her makeup lasted a long time and it looked really great in front of all those lights and her being on stage. Now to blend out the concealer, you guys, I'm going into this e.l.f. Camo Sponge and just really pushing the concealer into the skin. You guys already know that I love to let the concealer sit. I feel like it really covers a lot better, and it really lasts all day as well when I let it, you know, I would say like baking. And I'm just blending out the rest of the concealer that we place on her skin. Next, just taking that same brush that we used to apply the cream contour and just blend out any harsh lines. Next, you guys, I'm gonna apply some highlight, and I'm applying it while the skin is still a little bit dewy. I feel like it does last a lot longer when I do that. And then I always have my clients look up because we want to make sure that the bottom lines underneath the eye are nice and blended before we go in with setting powder. This will really, really help, you know, to minimize those lines, you guys, and really set those lines so that way they do last all day, and it won't crease. Next, I'm going to go into the Laguna bronzer from NARS and just applying it into the eyeshadow a little bit underneath the brow bone, and then also set the areas where we place the cream contour. This bronzer does have a little bit of shimmer, but Brittany does have dry skin, so it doesn't look oily on her. It looks really oily on me, but not on her. And then I'm going to go into this powder from Charlotte Tilbury. While we're dusting away the setting powder, we're also setting the under eye as well. This powder looked so beautiful on her on stage when we went to Florida. It looked so beautiful underneath all those studio lights. Next, for the blush, I'm going to go into the KKW Beauty and apply it going upwards to really give her that snatched look. And then I do let my clients curl their own lashes. It's definitely less scary for them. Next, I'm going to start to do her eyebrows, and I'm going to start to just follow her natural hairs. Normally, you guys, I don't fill them in as much as I do here with her. The reason why I do is because she's going to be under studio lights, flash with the camera. We definitely don't want her eyebrows to disappear, but at the same time, still using a light hand, and we don't want to give her chola brows. We're filling them up more than usual, more than you would do going to the grocery store, because we definitely don't want them to look washed out in pictures. Going in with that bronzer again and applying it towards her bottom lash line to give her that nice smoked out look, and then applying that nude pencil from Nabla Cosmetics, as well as applying some mascara with a disposable spoolie. Never use your mascara wand from the tube, you guys. Always use a disposable wand. And then I do apply it on the top lash, so that way her top lashes do not peek through. Next, I'm going to go into a lip pencil from Morphe. I'm using the lip pencil in the shade Sweet Tea. Make sure that if you're going to use this lip pencil on another client, make sure you always sharpen it. And then going in with a disposable lip wand, taking the Hank & Henry 1985 nude liquid lipstick. We also used this for nationals, and it looked so beautiful on her, and it lasted while she was on stage. And of course, you want to throw away that spoolie. You never want to use it again on another client, and never use the product from the tube as well on your client. So Brittany, since it's her birthday, she definitely wanted some jewels on her eyes. You guys can definitely skip out on this. You don't have to do this. This is just personal. She really wanted this, and so we applied it for her, and you can stop there. Don't add the jewels, and you have a really nice bronzy smoked out eye look. This is a great look for brides as well. I haven't done a client, you guys, in a very, very long time, so I hope I did great. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun doing her makeup. Obviously, I'm comfortable with her, but I definitely wanted something different for you guys to see. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me your feedback down in the comments. I love you guys so much. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!